Most people who haven't started investing aren't held back by money. A lot of them have a few hundred or a few $1,000s sitting in a checking account right now doing nothing. What's actually holding them back is not knowing the order to do things in 401k, Roth IRA, brokerage account, index fund, ETF. The terminology alone is enough to make most people close the tab and deal with it later. By the end of this video, you'll have the exact sequence: which account to open first, what to actually put your money into, and how to automate the whole thing so you're never relying on remembering to do it. Part 1. Why most people never actually start. There are 3 things that stop people who genuinely want to invest from ever opening an account. Too many options presented with no order. Search how to start investing, and you'll get a dozen account types and a dozen opinions about which is best, with no clear sense of what to do first versus what to do eventually. Fear of loss framed as fear of complexity. A lot of people worry about picking the wrong stock without realizing that picking individual stocks isn't actually the recommended starting point at all, which we'll get to in part 3, believing you need a large amount to start. Most modern brokerages have no minimum or a minimum of $1 to $100 and allow fractional shares, meaning $1,000 or even $100 is a completely legitimate amount to begin with. None of these obstacles are really about money. They're about not having a clear, ordered sequence to follow. So let's build one. Part 2. The account you actually need first. Before picking what to invest in, you need to pick where the money lives, and there's a clear priority order. Step 1. Your employer's retirement match, if you have one. If your employer offers a 401k with a matching contribution, for example, matching 50% of what you contribute up to a certain percentage of your salary, contribute at least enough to get the full match before doing anything else. That match is an immediate, guaranteed return on your money that nothing else on this list can compete with. Walking away from a match is walking away from free money. Step 2. A Roth IRA if you're eligible. A Roth IRA is funded with money you've already paid tax on, and in exchange, it grows and can be withdrawn tax-free in retirement, subject to the account's rules. It's especially valuable for anyone earlier in their career when their income and tax rate is likely lower than it will be later. There are annual contribution limits and income eligibility limits that change periodically, so it's worth checking current figures when you actually open one. Step 3. A regular taxable brokerage account for anything beyond steps 1 and 2. This account has no special tax treatment, but it also has no contribution limits and no withdrawal restrictions. Useful once you've maximized the tax advantage options available to you. The order matters because each step unlocks a real, quantifiable advantage that the next step down doesn't have. Free money, then tax-free growth, then unlimited flexibility. Part 3. What to actually buy. This is the part that intimidates people the most, and it's actually the simplest. For most beginners, the strongest starting point is a low-cost, broad index fund. Specifically, a fund that tracks a wide market index like a total US stock market fund, or an S&P 500 fund. These funds hold hundreds or thousands of individual companies inside a single investment, which means your money is automatically spread across the entire market instead of riding on the performance of one company. 2 things to actually check before choosing one: the expense ratio, the annual fee the fund charges expressed as a percentage, and whether it's broadly diversified rather than concentrated in one sector. Index funds tracking major markets typically carry very low expense ratios, often a fraction of a percent, specifically because they're not actively picking stocks. They're just tracking the index. What you're explicitly avoiding as a beginner is picking individual stocks based on a tip, a trend, or a feeling. That's not investing in the sense this video is talking about. It's closer to speculation, and it concentrates your risk in a way that broad index investing is specifically designed to avoid. Historically, broad market index funds have returned, on average, somewhere in the high single digits to low double digits annually over long, multi-decade periods. Not a guarantee for any specific year, but the entire reason buy a broad index fund and hold it remains the most consistently recommended starting strategy.
Part 4. The exact step-by-step order. Here's the full sequence end to end. Step 1. Check if your employer offers a retirement match. If yes, set your contribution to capture the full match. This is non-negotiable. Do this first, regardless of anything else on this list. Step 2. Open a Roth IRA with a reputable, low-fee brokerage. The account itself is free to open. You just need to fund it. Step 3. Inside that Roth IRA, choose one low-cost, broad index fund. You genuinely don't need 10 different funds to be diversified. One broad fund already holds hundreds of companies. Step 4. Set up an automatic monthly transfer into the account, even if it's small. Consistency matters more than the size of any single contribution, and automating it removes the decision entirely. The same principle that makes any savings habit actually stick. Step 5. Once you've maxed out what you can contribute to tax-advantaged accounts, or if you don't have access to them, open a standard taxable brokerage account and apply the same approach. Broad index fund, automated contribution. Step 6. Increase your contribution amount every time your income goes up, ideally automatically. The same raise allocation logic that applies to savings applies directly here too. That's the entire system. No stock picking, no market timing, no daily research required. Part 5. 5 mistakes that cost beginners money. Mistake 1. Trying to time the market. Waiting for the right moment to invest causes far more people to simply never start than it ever protects from a downturn. Consistent investing over time, regardless of short-term conditions, is what the entire step-by-step order above is built around. Mistake 2. Checking the account balance daily. Short-term market movement is normal and largely irrelevant to a long-term strategy. Checking constantly mostly just adds stress and tempts impulsive decisions. Mistake 3. Chasing individual stock tips. A single company can lose most of its value. A broad index fund holding hundreds of companies is structurally protected from any one company's collapse. Mistake 4. Skipping the employer match to save more flexibly elsewhere. No other investment in this video offers a guaranteed immediate return comparable to a full employer match. Skipping it to keep cash more accessible is rarely worth what's given up. Mistake 5. Panic selling during a downturn. Selling after a drop locks in the loss permanently. Historically, broad markets have recovered from downturns over time for investors who stayed invested, though of course, no future result is guaranteed. The hardest part of investing was never the money. It was not having a clear order to follow, which is exactly why most people delay it for years longer than they need to. So, here's the one action. This week, check whether your employer offers a retirement match, and if they do, set your contribution to capture the full amount. That single step alone is the highest leverage move on this entire list. If this finally gave you a clear sequence instead of a pile of confusing terms, subscribe. Next video walks through exactly how to compare brokerages and pick one in under 15 minutes.